So the World's Ultimate Strongwoman WUS Dubai 2021 is complete for the ladies, for the women. It is complete, and we do have a winner, and I want to offer my sincere, huge congratulations to Annabelle Chapman, who rose above the rest. Of course, Donna Moore in second place, and Melissa Peacock rounding out the podium. So let's go into the complete, detailed event-by-event results for the World's Ultimate Strongwoman 2021 WUS Dubai. Starting off with the log. So on the log, I had a little bit of a connectivity issue. So on the coresports.world website, the timer was set up to start at 8 a.m. Eastern time, and it didn't let me connect until then. But when I was able to connect, it seemed like the log was over. So perhaps they started an hour earlier at 7 a.m. Eastern time. I was able to gather the results from my buddy, Eloi Fournier at Strongman Archive. So thank you, Eloi. I really do appreciate that, and we'll present the results to you here. So Sandra Bradley, who I had predicted to get 1 point here, did in fact get 1 point, 1 rep on the log. As we move on up, 2 points went to Corey Butler, who you'll notice later on in some other events really outperformed my expectations here, and I'm very, very happy for how Corey did. So 3 reps here on the log earned her 2 points. 5 reps went to Nadia Stowers, and that gave her 5 points, and that happened for a few different competitors. Jessica Fithen, also 5 reps for 5 points, and the same thing for Melissa Peacock. She earned 5 points for 5 reps as well on the log for reps. Moving on up, Donna Moore earned 3 points for 4 reps, and then we had Annabelle Chapman with 6 reps, 7 points there. And then, of course, Andrea Thompson, who I and many had predicted to win this event for incredible prowess on log press, does in fact win it. 7 reps on the log for 8 points, Andrea Thompson. So that is how the actual results for the World's Ultimate Strongwoman WUS Dubai 2021 log press for reps went. Let's move on to the yoke. And at this time, I'd like to let you know that this video is being sponsored by our good friends at Garage Gym Life Media. If you like some of the analysis I've done on domestic contests in the past and want to know some more about the fine folks who are putting together and streaming some of those contests, I'm going to let John Greaves III, the founder of Garage Gym Life Media, tell you a little more about it.
I wanted to be a part of Static Monster since I first heard about it. In 2020, you had 985 competitors from 19 countries. The idea of people from all around the world competing in the axle deadlift and the log clean press all at the same time on the same day is something that's just mind-blowing. Normally, you'd have to fly overseas, and then you only compete against the people who are also able to fly to that same location. It's a blessing for us to be able to not only live stream this event, but also be a part of bringing it to somewhere close to us here in the Southeast. So this is not only an amazing opportunity for the average competitor to be able to see where they stack up against the top athletes in the sport of strongman, but it's also a rare situation where you are literally competing head to head. And I'm just really blessed for our live stream company to be a part in some small way of getting the story of these amazing athletes out there who are doing a historic thing.
So starting off, Nadia Stowers, who I'd predicted to come away with 2 points, comes away with 1 point here. She carries the yoke 24.7 meters. And so the way the yoke worked is they were going lengths of the course for as many as they could. So 1 length is 15 meters, 2 is 30, and so forth. As we move our way up, 2 points went to Sandra Bradley. So I had these two transposed, Nadia and Sandra, but very close on the predictions there. Sandra Bradley comes away with 2 points, earning 38.3 meters there. So still a decent distance. 45 meters go to Jessica Fithen, so she earns 3 points there on the yoke. And I have to say, this was most noticeable to me with Melissa Peacock, but the wingspan that some of these women had to do, they had to reach all the way across because the yoke was so wide. It was really, it looked difficult for some of them. So Corey Butler earns 4 points, going 45.8 meters. So now if you can picture that, that's 15 meters out, 15 back, a third pass. So that's your 45, and she went slightly, almost 1 more meter. So it would be 3 total laps plus a little bit. And so I have here the pairings of how they went. Nadia Stowers actually went second against Donna Moore. Sandra Bradley went in the first pairing versus Corey Butler. Jessica Fithen went in the third pairing versus Melissa Peacock. And so as we move up here, Corey Butler, 4 points. She had a good smooth run, and as I said, a little bit more than 3 lengths of the course. Annabelle Chapman went 4th, so there were only 4 pairings. There are 8 women, so she went in the last pairing against Andrea Thompson. She was very solid. She got 3 full lengths and then some, so 49.5 meters for Annabelle Chapman. Moving on up, 6 points went to Andrea Thompson, who, again, as I mentioned, went against Annabelle Chapman. Big Laws, who coaches Andrea Thompson, mentioned that she had picked up a slight calf injury since arriving in Dubai. So, not sure how she would perform here, but no notice of it on this event. She did extremely well, and if no one had told me she had an injury, I wouldn't have been able to tell. The performance was incredible. Did almost 4 full lengths, 57.8 meters for Andrea. 7 points went to Melissa Peacock, who for me gets kind of the kudos of the event here for having to use her whole wingspan just to basically barely touch the sides of the yoke, and still comes away with 7 points. She went in the 3rd pairing against Jessica Fithen, and as I say, like WTF, her arms are fully extended to reach the sides, and she still absolutely flew through this. You can just tell by her build, she has incredibly powerful legs and core and has worked a long time to build that, and it showed on this event. And then 8 points go to Donna Moore, who wins the yoke walk. She went in the 2nd pairing versus Nadia Stowers. She made a huge statement in that 2nd pairing for anybody to come after that, flying down the course, 60-plus meters, ends up with actually 62.5 meters, and even at the very end, that last 2.5 meters, so you usually hold the yoke out to the side. She put her hands up like almost as if to press it to get that extra 2.5 meters. So doing everything she could, all the veteran tricks in the book to win this one. So that's how the yoke shook out at World's Ultimate Strong Woman WUS Dubai 2021. Let's have a look at the farmers. Starting off, Jessica Fithen had all kinds of problems with the farmer's walk. Unfortunately, I was rooting really big time for her in this competition. She comes away with 1 point, only gets 8.6 meters. Seemed like the grip part of it just gave her problems. It wasn't a strength thing, it was a hand thing, it seemed like. And so, like I said, she had all kinds of problems. She went against Corey Butler, who actually you'll see did very well in this and kind of highlighted the fact that Jessica was having grip issues there. 2 points went to Melissa Peacock, who went in the 4th pairing against Donna Moore. And the pairing sort of shifted as we went along to pair up people that were closest to each other in the placings, I noticed. So Melissa struggled a bit, but looked worse compared to an exceptional Donna, right? So Donna Moore did so well on Farmers that it made Melissa Peacock look worse than she was on this event, but she did struggle a bit compared to some of the other events. So 2 points to her, 13.9 meters, so she did not complete the course. Nadia Stowers comes away with 3 points. She does complete the course in 53.85 seconds. She went against Sandra Bradley. She shot out really fast, but then, as Laz mentioned on the telecast, her back was more than strong enough. Maybe your grip giving out a little bit. She finished the course, but had to drop it a few times, 3 or 4 times. Sandra Bradley ends up finishing the course in the Farmers in 23.05 seconds against Nadia Stowers. Again, good enough for 4 points. Moving on up. Andrea Thompson goes 3rd in the pairing against Annabelle Chapman. Both of them were very fast. Laz actually said she was ready to quit almost 3 days ago due to her injury, but fighting right through it, and again, not noticeable. She performed exceptionally well. 5 points on the Farmers for Andrea Thompson in 17.96 seconds. Corey Butler comes away with 6 points here, doing it in 17.66 seconds, so 3/10 faster than Andrea. She went in the 2nd pairing versus Jessica Fithen and was an absolute rocket ship the whole way. On both laps, including a super fast turn. Some of her prep footage looked like her turns were slow, but I guess that was deliberate because her turns were extremely fast here. And Corey didn't look beatable until some of the others went, like Donna Moore, who comes away with 7 points, 17.05 seconds, just edging out Corey's time. She went in the 4th pairing against Melissa Peacock and looked like a freight train, just looked unstoppably powerful and fast. And then Annabelle Chapman wins the Farmer's Walk. 8 points go to her, 17.01 seconds. She went in that 3rd pairing against Andrea Thompson. Both of them were fast. Annabelle was faster. So that's how the Farmer's Walk shook out. Let's have a look at the mystery event. Starting off with Nadia Stowers, I had predicted her to come away with 3 points here. She ends up with 1 point on the mystery event, so 50.18 seconds. She went in the 2nd pairing against Sandra Bradley. She was slower on both the push and the pull, as Sandra was. So the way this was set up is it was a prowler push into a pull. So there was kind of a WUS emblem with chains all over it and on a prowler device, which provides resistance. For those of you who don't know, it's a wheeled device that provides resistance. Many times it's configurable on how much resistance you want. You may have seen Brian Shaw use it a lot in his home training. And so they had to push it the length of the course and then kind of turn over and run back and grab a rope and do an arm over arm pull and pull it all the way back, except there were chains dangling from it sort of bunched up. So when you get to a certain length, the chains straighten out and provide even more resistance, so it got harder as it went. So 1 point to Nadia Stowers there. Moving on up, we have 2 points going to Jessica Fithen, who struggled on this one a bit as well. She went in the first pairing against Melissa Peacock. She finished the course, but she did lose to Melissa. A good effort, though, but there were better efforts from some of the other women who... Jessica didn't do badly here, just some of the other women did exceptionally well. So 3 points went to Corey Butler, who had 35.86 seconds. That was her time. She went in the third pairing versus Andrea Thompson. She was yanking so hard on the pole that the rope was flying out of her hand and she had to re-grab it. So she looked really fast, but the sort of tenths of a second needed to re-grab the rope might have cost her some points here. 4 points went to Donna Moore. So Donna went fourth versus Annabelle Chapman and lost to Annabelle after a great effort. Both of them had a great effort here. Annabelle just exceptionally good, edged Donna out. And it was starting at this point, since we're at the fourth event, it was starting to look like Andrea Thompson was in a great position to win the contest, and Donna's chances were dwindling unless she did really well in the Atlas Stones, which is one of her favorite and most well-known events. So it was starting to create some drama for the last event. As we move up, 5 points went to Andrea Thompson, who outscores Donna here. She went third versus Corey Butler, had a very solid performance on both parts of the medley, just other women went a bit faster. Andrea's time, 34.01 seconds. Sandra Bradley gets 6 points, 32.91 seconds, so her height, like her sort of frame size, worked against her in some events, but she did very well in others like this one. She went in the second pairing versus Nadia Stowers. She was great on all facets of the medley. So remember, we have those dragging chains that slow you down. Didn't really slow her down much at all. She even sprinted back to grab the rope between the two facets of the medley and looking very, very good. 32.91 seconds. 7 points went to Annabelle Chapman, our eventual overall winner. So she went in the fourth pairing versus Donna Moore, and as I mentioned, edged her out, having a great competition at this point. 31.83 seconds. So who won the mystery event? Well, Melissa Peacock won the mystery event. Completed the course in 30.6 seconds. She went in the first pairing versus Jessica Fithen, and her time held up. She had a very fast time, and it held up. So that's how the mystery event was set up, how it played out, who won it. And, of course, now we move on to the final event, the Atlas Stones. Starting off with the Atlas Stones, Andrea Thompson, unfortunately, who was dominating almost every other event, falters a bit on the Atlas Stones, ends up with just 1 point there, so she went in the fourth pairing versus Annabelle Chapman, who actually did very well, and Andrea got 6 stones, so 6 out of 10 is a good lift. She really fought. 4 failed attempts that I counted, maybe even more, on the 7th stone, so no quit in her whatsoever. Really, really tried that 7th stone, but couldn't get it, so 1 point for her. Despite the fact that 6 stones out of those 10 stone set is good. It's just the other women just perform better. So Nadia Stowers comes away with 2 points. She went in the first pairing versus Jessica Fithen. She got 7, but was slower than Jessica there. Jessica Fithen comes away with 3 points. A little bit of a trickery or deception here. She seemed like totally gassed out, looked like maybe she was going to give up, and then came back and did another stone. It was just really seemed to be calculated recovery. So the veteran showing us her tricks of the trade there. She went versus Nadia Stowers and came away with 3 points there, getting the 7 stones as Nadia did. Speaking of, Sandra Bradley also gets 7 stones. She went in the second pairing versus Corey Butler. She was out a bit faster, but Corey overtook her on the 7th stone, and as you'll see above, Corey actually got to the 9th stone. So Sandra may be struggling a bit with the height of the platforms here, as we mentioned. 5 points went to Annabelle Chapman, who did very well with stones at UK Strongest Woman recently, and well again here. She went in that fourth pairing versus Andrea Thompson. She finished 8 stones and then kind of tried the 9th for a little bit and called it a day and wasn't going to struggle too much on the 9th stone. 5 points for Annabelle Chapman. 7 points went to Melissa Peacock, who did 9 stones. So Again, not one of the tallest competitors, but the height of the platform did not bother Melissa. She went in the third pairing versus Donna Moore. She got to the 10th stone. Both she and Donna got to the 10th stone. Neither of them could lift it, but an incredible performance by both of them. And speaking of Donna Moore, she wins the Atlas Stones. 8 points for Donna Moore. She gets the 9th stone, not quite able to get the 10th one up. Actually, not even lapping it. Like, both of them had a lot of trouble with that 10th stone. I didn't expect anybody was going to get it, so, no surprise there. And Donna Moore ends up winning the Atlas Stone. So all that being said, now that you have your detailed breakdown of event by event how the World's Ultimate Strongwoman WUS Dubai 2021 went, let's have a look at the overall. And you, of course, know the podium already, but let's see how everything else shook out and what the points totals were. So, coming in 8th place, who I thought would come in 5th place, is Nadia Stour. She comes away with 12 total points. 7th place goes to Jessica Fithin. So Jessica, I had predicted to be on the podium. Didn't, struggled with a few too many events, unfortunately, but she'll be back next time. 14 points for Jessica Fithin. She comes in 7th place. 6th place goes to Sandra Bradley, who I thought would come in 7th, so pretty close prediction there. She ends up with 17 points. I thought she'd have 16, so I did very well on that prediction. Then we have a tie of 4th place. So Sandra was 6th place. Corey Butler and Andrea Thompson both end up tied for 4th place with a total of 25 points. And as I mentioned, going into the Stones, Andrea Thompson was in 2nd. So it is the Atlas Stones that kept her off the podium, unfortunately. She had an incredible contest in every other event, pretty much. Moving on up to the podium. So, of course, our 3rd place finisher, Melissa Peacock, really performed well today. 29 total points. And as you saw the event-by-event breakdown, didn't have much of a weakness anywhere today. So kudos, hats off to Melissa Peacock. You're doing Canada proud once again, like you did at Clash on the Coast this year. An incredible performance and awesome to watch you. 2nd place then goes to Donna Moore. So neither Donna Moore nor Andrea Thompson, the two favorites for this contest, end up winning it. But Donna comes in 2nd, pretty close to 1st place. 30 points for Donna Moore. And of course, that means our winner is, with 32 total points, Annabelle Chapman of the UK. A huge congratulations once again to Annabelle Chapman for persevering through a tough and interesting set of events and really putting on a great show for the crowd, not only at UK's Strongest Woman, where I believe she came in 5th very recently, but doing even better today and coming in with a win against a really stacked field. Congratulations to Annabelle Chapman. So those are our results for World's Ultimate Strongman WUS Dubai 2021 for the women's show. And we're going to go tune into coresports.world right now. Make sure you have your subscription. The men's show's coming up soon. We're going to have a look there. And we'll be back then to give you those results. And of course, as always, until next time, ciao, homie.